Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed. So glad that you're joining us. We're continuing on our journey about what spending time with my family taught me about leadership. And before we get started today, that's what we're really going to dive into. I want you to know what our goal is. Our goal here is to develop authentic leaders. Yes, authentic leaders at home, at work, and everywhere that you may be. That's what we're looking for, to develop authentic leaders at home, at work, and everywhere, because that's the true essence, authentic leadership. That's what we want to do. We want to be authentic leaders. So stick around as we unbox the power of your leadership, unbox the power of all relationships. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach. And welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. Hello once again. So glad that you're here. Before we get started, do me a quick favor. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. That's right. Like, subscribe. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure that you share as well. All right. I want to jump right into this. As I told you, I had an opportunity last week to spend time with my mother and father, my sister, to connect with my aunt and uncle, and my grandchildren and my children. It was just, one big happy family reunion. And one of the things that I was hoping to accomplish while I was there was really to identify how I function in the most essential and the most important relationship that I'm in, which is my home family or my family of origin relationships. And so I tried to make sure that I observed what was going on. And in that observation process, several things jumped out at me. Now, yesterday I shared something with you. And what I shared yesterday was that when you really become intentional about saying, hey, I want to be the best that I can be. And so I'm going to focus on how I respond. I'm going to focus on what's going on inside of me. I'm going to focus on how much control I allow others to have over me and things of that nature. What part am I playing when there's family discord or conflict? What is the role that I'm playing? What part am I playing in all this? And I've told you that once you do that, it automatically raises your level of maturity. It does. Just the very act of being intentional raises your level of maturity. And we also discovered that as you are interacting with family, and I focus on family because that's your primary relationship, that's your foundational relationship, working on your family of origin relationship. So, of course, there is family of destination. That's whoever you decide to marry and make children with. That's the family that you're designated to. But the family of origin is where you come from. And that's where your emotional computer was pre-programmed. Those are the folk that wrote the codes that make the you, or makes the me. And one of the things that you'll discover is that the more that you observe and the more that you focus on your family relationships, the more you will realize that it's more about you than it is about the people in your family regarding how you react and how you respond emotionally. Focusing and observing how you respond does something. It takes the spotlight off of others. One of the things that we love to do is focus on others. You made me get angry. You made me this way. You did this. See how they're always doing that. And those folk, that folk, them folk, he, her, them, that's what we as human beings kind of love to do. We love to put the spotlight on other individuals. But if we put the spotlight on ourselves, especially as leaders, if we put the spotlight on ourselves, that helps us to govern the way that we function. And so by putting that spotlight on you, you realize, hold on, it has more to do with who I am and how I function than it has to do with everybody else in this family relationship. And so as I did that this past week, and trust me, y'all, I've got a long way to go. But what I've done is I've begun a journey. And what I do when I'm working with leaders is I take them on a journey. And we begin to work together in our peer support groups. We work together in our leadership coaching to really say, hey, how do you become an authentic leader who really, who is the same person everywhere and in every situation? That authentic leader. not where you're putting on a show, depending on where you're at, but that authentic leader that you really want to be. And that's the main focus. Okay. So as you begin to focus on yourself, I want you to do two things. And I'm going to let you go here. First is identify what causes your emotional reactions when you're with your family. And by emotional reaction, let me tell you what I mean. That is the emotions and the way that you respond without even thinking. So for instance, they are internal and external. And I'll talk about this another time, internal and external. The internal is the stuff that's going on inside. It's that storm. Because some of us, because of our professional life or because we're afraid to offend the other person, we will respond correctly externally. We'll say the right words, the right volume, or whatever it may be. I'll be the most respectful person in the world if Deontay Wilder's sitting across the table from me because I don't want him to knock my head off. But inside, I'm all angry, calling them names, fussing about, and all of this, that, and the other. So what we want to do is we want the external and the internal to match each other so that I'm not just responding because I'm professionally trained to conduct myself like I got sense, but I want to also respond internally because I now have control over my own emotions and others are less able. So one of the things I ask folk to do is to identify what causes your emotional reactions when you're with your family. What is that thing that stirs you up on the inside? The thing that causes you to debate and to argue, to try to get your point across, that gets you frustrated, annoyed, angry, argumentative, conflictual, whatever that may be. Those reactions, what are those things? And I want you to identify. And then here's the next thing. Because you have identified how you are reacting both internally and externally, because you've identified those things, you now know more or less who you are and how you roll, how you function, how you operate. Now, I want you, especially as you're interacting with family, you can't do it in the moment. This is something you got to do before you go into these relationships, before you make the telephone call, before you go to visit the family, et cetera, whatever it may be. I want you to set goals for how you emotionally function with your family. That's right. Set goals for how you emotionally function with your family. Say, hey, when I get there, this is how I want to be. This is how I want to feel and to operate on the inside. This is also how I want to feel and operate on the outside. So this is how I want to function emotionally when I'm with my family. That's very important because setting those goals gives us something to move toward and helps us to ask those questions. Hey, what's going on here? Helps you to become more curious, more focused, so that you can actually be the you that you want to be. So that you can, as I shared before, be that authentic leader at home, that authentic leader at work, that authentic leader everywhere. And that's why I love the work that I do, and I love the people that I get a chance to work with. And if you want to know more about what we do at UnBoxed, please make sure that you check out our website. That's www.swg-unboxed.org. swg-unboxed.org. Check us out, set up a free consultation. Let's talk about how we can help to improve you. That's the most important thing. And how we can also help to improve your team and the entire workplace culture for your entire organization. Hey, listen, I'm so glad that you came to join us. We're going to go ahead and conclude this portion of what I learned by visiting my family tomorrow. Until I see you then, you have a great day. Take care.
Seasons of Grace Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.